Hey everybody, KC here. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving weekend. There were a couple of stories over the weekend in the New York Times that made me think about retail opportunities. And the stories were not directly applicable to that. But when I read them, I thought, boy, is there an opportunity here that retailers are not taking advantage of? And the first story concerned what the Times referred to as one of the country's fastest growing demographic groups, people 50 and older living alone. Here's a quote from the story. In 1960, just 13% of American households had a single occupant, but that figure has risen steadily, and today it is approaching 30%. For households headed by someone 50 or older, that figure is 36%. Nearly 26 million Americans 50 or older now live alone, up from 15 million in the year 2000. Older people have always been more likely than others to live by themselves, and now that age group, baby boomers and Gen Xers, makes up a bigger share of the population than at any time in the nation's history. Here's the other thing. More than 60% of older adults living by themselves are female. And people 50 plus today are more likely to be than earlier generations to be divorced, separated, or never married. And I thought to myself, boy, is this, yes, a lot of retailers will have, single serve options, and they'll have grab and go stuff. But are you really thinking about the percentages of people in their market areas that fit into this demographic group and figuring out ways to market to them specifically? I suspect not. I'll bet you most retailers, if you ask them, have no idea what percentage of the people, of the customers that go in any of their stores might fit into this demographic group. And it seems to me it's an enormous opportunity. The other story was an op-ed piece by Betty Rollin. Betty Rollin was a pioneering NBC News correspondent, pioneering just because she was female, who's also pretty well known for having written a book about her breast cancer called First You Cry. And it was really interesting. She was writing about widows, and she's recently widowed, and she was talking about the things that widows have to deal with. She talked about the fact that most of the women who are widowed each year are over 65, and they frequently outlive their husbands by many years. Widows are far more likely than married women to be poor. Widowed men are far more likely to remarry than widowed women, and those widowed men often remarry younger women. Black Americans, male and female, become widowed at younger ages than whites. By ages 65 to 74, about 24% of Black Americans are widowed compared to about 15% of whites. And again, our retailers kind of looking around their market areas saying to themselves, hey, there's an opportunity here to serve as a support system for these people. I'm not talking about exploiting them. I'm talking about serving as a support system for people who might need that support. There was also a very funny coda, funny in some ways, to the Betty Rollin piece. I have to say, this is something I didn't know. She said, just speaking personally, she said, when I was widowed, my Christian friends sent flowers, my Jewish friends sent food. Food is better. Well, if you're in the food retailing business, that actually should mean something to you on a variety of levels. And just personally, I have to say, I may never send flowers again. Food is better strikes me as a really good log line for anybody who's trying to figure out how to help people that they know, people that they love, dealing with loss. Food is better. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.